Alright, so today I gotta search for a couple rattles in the Mustang. Pretty sure the back one I know exactly what it is, and I don't think you can really fix it without getting a new panhard bar. The front, I believe it's the endlinks, so when we get the car jacked up, we'll check those. If it's the endlinks, I might just have to tighten the bolts. I have new bolts, so I could try throwing the new ones in. If they don't fit, then I'm gonna have to run to Home Depot or somewhere to get new bolts. But let's get going. Alright, so the wheel is off. Trying to look at some of these bolts. I have a feeling it might be the end link. Something on the end link being loose. Grab this. Did find this. This is adjustable end links. You see this whole thing moves, and the nut is loose. So I'm gonna tighten that up. I mean, I'll check these down here, but that's pretty tight. That one's pretty tight. So tighten all these, and I'll go check the other side, see how that is, and hopefully the rattle goes away. And it looks to be the same thing on the other side. Then you have both the nut right there. You see that nut turning? So I'm gonna go with that's loose, and that could be causing rattle also. These that one's tight. That one up there, nice and tight already. So only thing I can do is just check and see if any of these other ones are loose, but it doesn't look like it. Might be that. I don't think there's any benefit to an adjustable end link, but I have them. Got to deal with it now. Alright, so we did the front. The one adjustment nut on the end link was a little loose on both sides, so I tightened those up. Gave the attachment from the end link to the actual sway bar and the end link to the strut. Tightened that up. I had the breaker bar, so I gave it an extra crank with that. So hopefully the front's all done. Now the back is a different story. The back, when you with the live rear axle, like a Mustang like this. Actually, up until the next generation, the 2015, is it S505? That new body style, they went to independent rear suspension, but everyone before that had the live rear axle, which is just one axle in the back, basically, live rear axle. And when you lower a car with the live rear axle, you have to change your panhard bar. You have to get an adjustable panhard bar, because when you lower, you're changing the geometry of the whole back end, so your axle could shift a little bit off to one side or the other side. So then your car will basically be going down the road a little crooked. It might look a little crooked, but this car's not lowered a lot, but we still changed it to get it perfect. And the one we changed at the time, we didn't know, but it has a urethane bushing on one side, and the other side is just a metal attachment, adjustable, whatever. I don't even know what the hell they're called, but looking back now, we should have got the one with two urethanes with the adjustment in the middle, so you wouldn't get any rattle. Right now, going over bumps, it's a normal thing from what I've understood, but you get a little bit of like rattle. Almost sounds like something's loose, but nothing's loose. So what I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna swap it over to the other side of the car, see if that changes anything. The time of install, it seemed like a good idea to install it the way I did. I'm pretty sure the directions said to do it that way. But with it on the car, there's no way to actually adjust it. So if you want to adjust it, you have to basically leave everything loose. I tighten it onto the car, but leave your adjustment point loose. Get it centered. Then you almost basically have to take it back off the car to tighten it in place, because where one of the lock nuts are, it's hidden. So I then jack the back of the car up and swap that around, see if that does anything. Hopefully it does. If it doesn't, oh well. You can live with it. It's completely safe. So let's try that out. Right, so we're a little upside down right now. That's the passenger side rear wheel. If you look right here, This is your panhard bar. Your panhard bar goes from there all the way over here. This is now the driver's side. Try to flip it up the right way for you. Now this keeps the rear axle straight for you, like I was explaining before. To get to it, you actually have to dismount the sway bar. There's the sway bar end links that mount to the frame. There's one there and one on the other side. Then there's just the 2 bolts. You have a 17 there and a 17 on the other side. You take those out and it's all out. Alright, so it's bolted up like this in the car, and this is the adjustment point I was talking about before, and pretty much narrowed down to this is making the noise. And what I was saying before is if we had this attachment on both sides, which is the urethane bushing, they make one with that on both sides, and then this adjustment point is like somewhere in the middle, and I feel like that would make it not make the noise anymore. So maybe just a tip for someone else lowering their car: don't get this one. The sway bar is back in. It's a sway. Like I said, you had to remove that one on each side to flip this down to get to these bolts for the panhard bar. The panhard bar is now switched. And hopefully that noise is gone, but I'm not keeping my fingers crossed. Alright, so end links are tightened in the front. Swap the panhard bar in the back, which now that I'm looking at, that might be the right way. And I think the directions were wrong. Maybe the directions were for a different panhard bar, but that's all done. Everything's nice and tight. Just got to take the car off the jacks and we'll take it for a test drive. Hopefully it's gone. I mean, the car's been making that noise for a little while now and nothing fell off, so it can't be too bad for it. So see you later, guys.